Hi, I'm Eric Roeder with Driver Development here at Bison Transport in Winnipeg, Canada. We're just in our wash bay and we're going to have a look at our new Ultralight 2017 Freightliner Cascadias. There was a lot of thought given to investing in new tractors here at Bison Transport, and I'm here with Stephen Orbanski, who is in charge of developing the specifications for these tractors. Stephen, what was the reason that we decided to go to ultralight equipment?
Well, Eric, we're approached by operations group. Customers are requiring more payload. Our equipment has been getting heavier and heavier. Specifically, the reefer division, in order to compete, we needed to reduce weight overall. And the truck was the greatest opportunity that we saw where we could make substantial changes in order to compete for their business.
So we're really going to be making customers happy with this equipment by being able to haul a greater payload. Will we be using these strictly on the reefer fleet, or are they available to be used for our long combination vehicle fleet as well?
Not for long combination vehicles. These are strictly tractors for single trailer applications, but they will be able to haul max Canadian weights and US weights as well.
A lot of drivers are probably thinking, what kind of creature comforts am I going to lose moving into one of these new ultralight tractors?
Absolutely none. It's the same 72-inch high-rise sleeper, same cab interior with all the luxuries that we've enjoyed with our last units.
So it's, as far as the drivers go, they'll get in the truck, it'll be exactly the same as their old ones.
Exactly the same interior. Drive will be very well as well. It's got plenty of power and high torque curve at a low RPM.
Oh, that sounds fabulous. The interior is still the same, but what is different about the outside of the truck?
Well, a big difference on the front, you're going to notice right away by looking at it, especially from the side, you're going to see a shorter nose on the hood. It's going to provide better visibility, but doing that, we were able to save a substantial amount of weight. We changed the engine, downsized to a PD13, but still with a high horsepower rating of about 470 horsepower, 1650 foot-pounds of torque, with a direct drive transmission and lighter differentials.
Little weight savings.
Little things that add up. So we've saved weight, we're expecting good fuel economy, and it's got plenty of power in a single hull application to run any region across North America. The driver feedback's been very good.
So my guess is those trucks that we have on the road already probably don't even have 10,000 kilometers on them yet, and we're already seeing 8 miles per gallon. Is that accurate?
That's accurate. Yes.
Wow, that's excellent.
We were able to reduce the size of the tanks down to 100 US gallons per side, so 200 US gallons. So we reduced the amount of carrying capacity available, but not hauling long combination vehicles, and the fuel economy spec, we're expecting many days without having to fuel up.
Was that a requirement because the wheelbase is shorter on these trucks?
No, that wasn't a requirement. That was a decision made to try and reduce overall carrying capacity of the truck. Weight is detrimental to the business, and we figured that there was way too much carry on the fuel where we didn't need it, so we actually saved about 700 pounds of carry weight just on the fuel alone, never mind the mechanical portions of it. As far as the wheelbase goes, it has shortened a little bit to give drivers a little more maneuverability as well. Shortened by about 12 inches until 218 inches.
Wow, that's going to be significant. I know when I was driving, I would really appreciate a short truck and be able to get in all of the tighter spots. So this truck being significantly lighter, do you envision that we'll have any traction problems with it at all?
No, absolutely not. We still have traction control, and we also have the 3-way axle lockup. So our existing power divider plus an axle lockup will give you 3 tires locked up whenever you need in yards or low-speed applications.
You mentioned that the new aluminum wheels are significantly lighter than the old ones were, 5 pounds, I think you said. Is there anything else different about those wheels? Are they more aerodynamic?
The rims themselves are not more aerodynamic, but we've added on flow below wheel covers on them. These are supposed to give us approximately 0.5% more fuel economy and only weigh about 11 pounds for an entire truck.
Anything else on the back of the truck that we should talk about?
Significant difference will be the aluminum fifth wheel on these trucks that we just purchased.
Is there anything that drivers need to know about those fifth wheels? In my mind, the first thing I think of is aluminum's a lot softer than what were they before, solid iron.
The aluminum is extremely hardened. They're made by the same manufacturer, Alcoa, who does our rims on our trucks as well. The softer part is going to be the friction material on the top of the aluminum fifth wheel. In our application, we expect drivers to lubricate them just as much as any other fifth wheel. So daily would be good, and that's going to increase our fuel economy and ride as well by keeping that friction-free surface on there.
A common practice is drivers would back up under the trailer and let that trailer scrape against the fifth wheel like that. And now what you're saying is we can lower the suspension in the tractor, sort of get that fifth wheel under the trailer apron and then raise it again before hooking to that kingpin.
Absolutely. I mean, that's going to save us in multiple areas. The other benefit of hooking up that way by lowering the air suspension, being a little bit softer on the equipment, we also run into less problems with shock load. And shock load generally happens in the winter, and that's generally in our yards when things are slippery. We start to spin as we're slamming into stuff, and it's that sudden stop that hurts our equipment.
So that's what shock load is when you really just kind of smash into it and that causes damage to the driveline and
It's a lot of power that we have behind these vehicles, and when we hit sudden stops, all that force is transferred back up from the back end all the way back up through the engine.
dropping the air suspension and then backing under and then raising it obviously would be significantly smoother than hitting that trailer. It's very possible we're going to see reduced maintenance in the driveline as a result of that if drivers follow those instructions properly.
Absolutely. It'll make the equipment last longer. We'll have less downtime with our equipment for sure.
Fantastic. Is there anything else that's new we should talk about?
Well, I guess continuation on a few units that we've had this on for a while but probably hasn't been promoted enough is the air release for the fifth wheel. That's one option that really helps for the safety of the drivers, not having to get underneath there and pull the pin.
So that's something where, you know, in the past a driver would actually have to get out of the truck, reach under the trailer, pull a pin out that took significant, human strength to pull out, and in fact often resulted in injuries if drivers were trying too hard to do that. So this is now an air release where you push or pull a button on the dash and it releases the trailer from the unit.
Absolutely, and it really shows itself in the winter. I mean, when footing is not that good, when items are frozen up and a little bit harder to release, I think drivers are really feeling the benefits of that and reduction in injuries overall.
Wonderful. Before we wrap it up, is there anything else that we should talk about that might be new?
Shore power option, and it's the ability to plug in your vehicle. It's not the block heater plug, it's the one farther back down, and that has the ability to run all your accessories so we don't have to run the engine. So if you do have the ability to plug in, you'll be able to run all those comforts in the back of your sleeper without using up all your battery power.
Essentially, a driver could just plug in anywhere there is 110 power, and that they'll run their TV, their microwave, and charge the truck batteries at the same time. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Excellent. So we're going to go and scale this Ultralight Freightliner and see just how different the weight is from our current Freightliners. Good, there's nobody else on the scale, so I'll be able to pull right on here. And I'll just check here, I've got just under half a tank of fuel and a full tank of DEF. And I'll just get the front axle on here and see where we're at. There we go. So we're looking at about 10,600 pounds for the front axle. And that's with two of us folks in the truck. And now we've got the back axle on the scale and coming in around 8,000 pounds. So that's about 18,060. So significantly less than our current tractors, which often weigh in close to 21,000. Try out this new truck, and this truck will likely be released as a 2018 Freightliner Cascadia.
I guess just put into it because of my record. I was lucky. It's just that I got put in this position because of this.